Hello everyone, so today's video is going to be me showing you the best way to use up all of your green tomatoes. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely inundated at the moment with tomatoes. Both of my freezers are full of tomatoes, green, red, orange, all of them, and I've already ripped up all of my tomato plants because they were just getting to the end of their days and they were not looking too cute. But nevertheless, we need to use up the ones that we have grown so far. So we are making my favourite green tomato chutney. You'll have seen me do the first step, which is just slicing the green tomatoes, and then you need to mix them in with some diced onion. I used the diced frozen onion that you can just buy from the supermarket, but you can chop up your own or use frozen, whatever is easiest for you. You ideally want to chop your onions and your tomatoes the day before you start the process of making the chutney, and you simply layer your tomatoes, your onions with around a tablespoon of salt. I'm gonna add the recipe that I used in the description below so that you have all of the ingredients and weights, etc. And then here I'm just peeling and chopping some apples from my granny and granddad's garden to put into the chutney. I find my apple slicer and corer very difficult to use. The concept of it is amazing, and I don't know if I'm just doing it incorrectly, but I have found it really difficult. It keeps moving on the counter, so you'll see some of these are not looking particularly well peeled, or perhaps too peeled as that one in the middle looks, but yes, nevertheless, we're getting the apples chopped and cored. I very much roughly sliced everything that I was putting into the chutney just because I knew that it was going to be cooking down, so you kind of don't need to worry about it too much. In terms of base ingredients, you have the tomato and onion mix that we did the day before. You have brown sugar, vinegar, sultanas, and the apples. You then want to combine your vinegar with your brown sugar and also your pickling spices, and I'll pop on the screen exactly which spices I ended up using. I tried so hard to keep the spices in the little sieve because I didn't have pickling vinegar, so I made my own with just plain distilled vinegar and added the spices in, but as you'll see, that clearly didn't work, so I ended up just straining it later on. Whilst we have the start of the chutney on the way, we want to sterilise all of our jars. I just did this by placing them in hot water and then popping them on a tray to put into the oven for around 15 minutes. Now that our vinegar and sugar mix has been simmering away for around 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to drain it over the apples and the sultanas just to take out all of those larger spices that I don't want left in the chutney. Of course, if you pre-spice your vinegar, you don't need to do this, but this is just the way that I did it. And then I'm going to transfer the mixture back into the pan. You're going to want to let this mixture simmer for around 10 to 15 minutes before we go ahead and add in our drained tomatoes and onion mix. Whilst that cooks down, I'm just going to empty all of the water from the jars and add them onto the oven dish, ready for them to go into the oven to sterilise. Now that our chutney mix has been simmering for around 10 to 15 minutes, I'm adding in the tomatoes and the onions. I did drain these off because there was some excess water that the salt had drawn out of the tomatoes and onions overnight. By draining the excess water off, it just means that you're not going to need to cook the mixture down as much. The next few clips are just what the mixture looks like every 20 minutes or so you get an idea for the stage at which your chutney is and what it's supposed to look like in the end. I'll give you a word of warning now, but the fumes that come off this chutney are so strong. The vinegar smell in my kitchen was like no other, but I can confirm it was 100% worth it because it tastes incredible. Now that the chutney mix is nice and thick and it's kind of got that jam-like texture, we are ready to start canning it. I've taken my preheated jars out of the oven, and you need to make sure that your jars are still hot or at least warm when you're putting your hot chutney mix into the jars, just to make sure that you don't crack the glass jars. I was honestly so impressed with myself after making this chutney. I've never made chutney before, but we ended up getting 12 jars of chutney out of the recipe, and it tastes so good. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and Ophelia was way too interested in these jars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to let me know how you got on with the recipe down below and give the video a like. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.